everyone! How was your day today? I hope everything is going well. The paper I used today is a bit small, since I like to paint details. First, I spray water on the paper to let the paint flow freely, so that the charm of watercolor can be fully displayed. It is crucial to spread the colors quickly, which involves two key points. First, you need to be familiar with how to mix the colors you want, because it is unlikely that the exact colors you need will be readily available on the palette. Second, you must have a sense of the overall picture, such as the position of the house within the frame and the proportions occupied by different structures. You need to have a clear understanding of these in your mind, and of course, this requires practice. If you have never painted with watercolors before, I still suggest that you first practice drawing the structure of the house with a pencil. Only then can you become proficient in using the method of coloring first and then outlining. This method is not entirely unsuitable for beginners. On the contrary, it is an interesting way to practice. The first layer of coloring essentially lays down the most basic shapes and structures of the house. Thanks to the bleeding effect of watercolor, the first layer of structure is just a set of romantic, blurry color patches. However, it has already provided the basic structural positions, making it easier to outline later. You have already seen that I outline the structure on top of the painted color patches. At first glance, it may seem difficult, but in fact, it is quite easy. The color patches have clearly demarcated the objects you need to draw, so all you need to do is add lines to depict the specific details. This method may not produce an extremely precise structure, but the general proportions and structure are correct. After all, this is not an architectural rendering that requires such accuracy. For painting this kind of artistic watercolor, I suggest letting the first layer of color dry completely before outlining. Another thing is that you need to know how to adapt when you realize you haven't painted something correctly. Because the paper is small, some details have been abandoned or changed by me. Of course, striving to reproduce reality is important, but timely expression and modification are also necessary. When painting, don't feel frustrated or upset if a line is not straight or a structure is drawn incorrectly. This is a natural part of the process. Just accept it calmly. At the same time, you can think about your favorite parts and how you plan to depict them. Before coloring, you need to have a clear plan in mind. For example, when painting the roof, the first layer of color is a light, slightly grayish orange. The second layer is a deeper orange with some pure gray. In short, all the colors needed for the roof section should be thought out in advance. If you are very familiar with color mixing, the process will go more smoothly. Otherwise, you can prepare the colors needed for the first layer ahead of time. It's worth noting that when dealing with complementary colors, such as blue and orange, you need to know how to mix them so that they look more harmonious together. This requires you to test them on paper several times until you are satisfied. Sometimes, simply copying the colors from a picture may not be the best approach. It's better to rely on your own eyes and inner feelings to make the decision. Just like many people enjoy eating chocolate, but chocolate with slightly different textures will have different audiences. So, expressing one's own preferences in a work is an exciting thing. This part of the red brick wall is my favorite. The rich, unique color with an orange hue always inspires my urge to paint, and it brings me great joy when I'm painting it. Once the initial base tone is laid down, you can then paint the bricks on top. It's really therapeutic.